Welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I am your host, GameChanger. All right. So, oh man, I said I was done with Austin, at least a segment that I was on, I was done with, but something else arose. So I decided to cover it. I'm going to cover some other stuff, but because I hate staying on people, you know, anyway, I just hate staying on people. But I got to get this out. But before I do that, let me go ahead and share screen and do the short of the day. Hit the like button on your way in. All right. So all right, hit that like button, people, and let me just set this up. Do this right here. All right, here we go.
He's like, I would never. My students, he pointed out one of the girls, this little white, blonde haired, blue eyed girl. She's like, that's my girlfriend. I was like, oh yeah. He's like, I would never date a black girl. And you know us girls.
Oh,
I was like,
all three of us.
Yeah,
were like,
I was like they're teaching in separate corners, and we're all like, what?
you forgot to mention this boy is mixed himself.
Yeah. So I was like, well, he needs to validate this statement that he just made. That was pretty brash and bold. And I was like, young man, why would you? And he's like, first of all, they loud. I was like, he's like, they think they bougie and they're annoying and they ugly.
But to me, the fact that a child would even say that shows that somehow there is this mentality. Like I'm not saying even majority of black men feel like that.
And statistically speaking, the rates of interracial marriage, like how much they've risen, is like over 100%.
Right?
Yeah, I did look at it.
100%.
I believe so.
Okay, I'm gonna play that one again because a lot of it seems like cap. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know who these girls are. I don't know why they're dressed like 18th century Mormons, but I am curious. And the reason why I want to know more about them, their channel, et cetera, is because the story seems like cap. It seems like, and cap, by the way, is what the young people call just a flat out lie. The story seems like a flat out lie. A lie created to really discuss a deeper topic or have a deeper conversation. Here's why I think it's a lie. The vocabulary of the young person, bougie, annoying, like, I don't know how young, what grade level they're teaching, but that's pretty sophisticated. That's pretty sophisticated. I could picture kids saying, they get on my nerves, or even ugly or something like that. I could picture that. I can't picture them being so sophisticated, like, oh yes, they are bougie. Black girls are bougie. Like, I know I did not talk like that when I was a kid. It took me a while, maybe a teenager, to really learn what bougie was. So yeah, annoying, I get. It's something I probably understood, but it wasn't part of my day-to-day category, or vocabulary. It wasn't something that I would use. It wouldn't be the first thing. I would probably just say get on my nerves. So it does seem like cap, but let's play it again. Hit that like button on your way in, people. Greatly appreciate you.
I was teaching one of my students. He pointed out one of the girls, this little white, blonde haired, blue eyed girl. She's like, that's my girlfriend. I was like, oh yeah. He's like, I would never date a black girl.
Okay, so pointing a girl out and saying that's my girl isn't something that a teenager would do. It's not something it's not something that a fifth grader and above would say or do, unless that was actually their girl. You don't just point out random girls and say that's that's something a child would do, a child.
And you know us girls.
Oh,
I was like, all three of us were like,
I was like, they're teaching in separate corners, and we're all like, what?
You forgot to mention this boy is
And also, fifth graders don't have 3 teachers.
mixed himself.
Yeah. So I was like, well, he needs to validate this statement that he just made.
You don't really need to validate that statement at all. It's valid when something's a matter of personal preference or a question of personal preference. You don't really need to validate it. It's valid. Like, I don't like broccoli is a valid statement. Maybe you can get context to that, like why, but the truth of the matter is it's valid. You don't like it. You have the right to not like something, and you don't.
That was pretty brash and bold. And I was like, young man, why would you? And he's like, first of all, they loud. I was like, he's like, they think they bougie.
Okay. The story's it sounds like it's breaking down, but okay.
They're annoying and they ugly.
But to me, the fact that a child would even say that shows that somehow there is this mentality. Like, I'm not saying even majority of Black men feel like that. Like,
and statistically speaking, the rates of interracial marriage, like how much they've risen, is like over 100%.
Holy crap. This is your educators. This is your educators. First of all, if you're going to drop a stat like that, you have to have like a sense. You have to have a time of reference. Like, the number of people have doubled since. The number of interracial marriages have doubled since. Not just, the number of interracial marriages have doubled. Since when? Since slavery? I mean, like, when has it, like, what has it doubled from, since, et cetera, et cetera? It's just doubled. It's doubled what it was, like, doubled what it was when, miss. This is you're teaching kids. Come on now, do better.
Right?
Yeah, I did look at it 100%. I believe so.
And she was like, oh, over 100%, to which the other girl responds, I believe so. You state a statistic and then you state a belief to back up that statistic. But notice how triggered these girls were over the thoughts of, and I'm gonna just throw a number out there. I'm gonna just throw the number 8. Notice how triggered these girls were over the thoughts and opinions of an 8-year-old boy. Why? Because nobody really likes to be told that they're in last place, that they're not as desired as they like to be. In fact, the reason why, and I don't think that that's why an 8-year-old boy would do this, but the reason why people would do this is because they want to trigger other people. And that brings me to Auston. Auston has been on this campaign where he is trying to trigger Black men, and the question is, to what end? He's weaponizing the fact, like, yes, you're not the most preferred. Well, don't really care about that, because I'm not a woman, and I don't have a history of my livelihood depending on how much men or the opposite sex preference me. Don't get me wrong, like, personal pleasure is dependent on that, but not livelihood. So women had historically had a greater stake in that. You don't find a mate, you don't eat. That has been the history of womankind, not so much men. Didn't really buy, but he's really trying to weaponize that, as I used in previous video. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. All right. So let me show y'all something, because here's why I've come to that conclusion. All right. So actually, let me hit this sandwich button. By the way, I call the button with 3 lines on websites the sandwich button, because it's like a sandwich. So for those of you who don't know, I call this button right here a sandwich button. But anyway, how to build the courage to approach women. Now, hopefully he means something else. Hopefully this video is about something else. But that is the how to get high interest women. These are dating coach things. These are game ninja titles. If you go to any of the game ninjas in the world, they have titles like this. Something that begins with how to, and ends with getting sex, really. Also, game ninjas have a thing against passport bros. Game ninjas have a thing against tricking. He is definitely following the psychological patterns of game ninjas. Now, the question is, why is he doing that? Well, I have to look at the numbers here to determine that. And you see this video here, it's 12K views. This was a day ago. He has another video here. It's about the same amount of time where so this one he's by himself. This one he is interviewing a light-skinned Afro-Latina. Now, typically having a female on should raise your views, but he has about 10% of the views here where he's not shooting at somebody. He's not shooting at passport bros, but he has 12K on the ones where he is shooting at passport bros. Now, let's see. And most of his videos looks like they're under 2K. This one has 3K. So yeah, right around there. Okay. These aren't bad numbers by itself. It becomes bad numbers when your livelihood, your extravagant, might I say, livelihood depends on it. Because these are videos. These aren't live streams where, most of the revenue comes from super chats and stuff. These are videos. So you got to produce. You got to, what has it been, like a week or so since my last video? And that's because this isn't my sole occupation. This isn't my sole stream of income. If I had to like really stop and think about it, this is probably like my lowest stream of income, YouTubing. It's my lowest stream of income that I have. No. My lowest stream of income that I have right now is recycling my used bottles. Then YouTube is my lowest stream of income. Yeah, I think YouTube is a lower stream of income than using my credit card to buy groceries and getting the 1.5 to 5% cash back. But this is his whole meal. And this isn't me shooting at the people. Well, maybe it is a little bit. Shooting at people whose sole source of income is YouTube. But what it means is you have to make compromises. Just like you have to make compromises for your job. You have to make compromises for YouTube. So Auston, he's buying plane tickets and things like that all across the world, international plane ticket, hotels, nightclubs and stuff. He has to do that for his job. Fortunately, he gets to write it off, but it's going to make you competitive. It's going to make you have to compete for things, or else you're going to have to go back to slinging yayo. I hope I don't. Like, dang, I can't get that song right. But there's a song in the Bay. I hope I don't go back to slinging yayo. It's like, listen, once you start making a certain amount of money, receiving a certain amount of fame, you don't want to go back to the lifestyle that you had prior to that. We talked about that before. I understand him wanting to avoid it at all costs. Now, the thing about being a passport bro is that it's education. Shout out to E40. Yeah, thank you. It's education. And the thing about education is, the thing about education of something that's not very complicated is that once somebody learns it, there's no need to relearn it. Like, that's it. Like, if you have a tutorial on how to change your Wi-Fi password. Now, there's plenty of tutorials out there on it, education on how to change your Wi-Fi password, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But people don't watch stuff like that twice. Now, if the person is entertaining, they might watch it a couple times, or they might listen to their other how-to videos. But there's really no need to, once you know how to change it, to go back to that site. Auston, he's educating people on a concept. At least originally he was. And that is to get their passport. His job was to get people to want to live the lifestyle that he was living. But then you run into that problem. Eventually, people, you don't really have to watch each and every single video to come to the conclusion that you should get a passport. He also has another problem, and that is it's so many brothers out there doing this lifestyle type of stuff. So I think the message is out to Black men, Black America, and the message is clear. Getting a passport is the way to go for a happier life than the U.S. And then it stops right there. There's really no reason to watch somebody else living the life that you are preparing to live. So now Auston, he needs a reboot. He needs a shock. What do you call that? What do you call that when the doctor says clear and then he puts the stuff together? Like, he needs that to his channel. He needs it's not a resuscitation, but he needs a jolt. So now it would appear that he's going the dating coach route. Now, remember, this is the guy who said that, you don't need game abroad. You don't need dating coaches. He even has a video here. I said that speaks directly on that. Let me see what it says. Hold on. It was something about dating coaches. But basically, his message has been, you don't need dating coaches. You don't need dating coaches abroad. Game is a sham. Game is this, and this. You don't really need that. But, here he is with videos now saying, let's see, 1 second. How to build the courage to approach women. So there is a shift. Now, I'm going to get into why that is, because he goes into detail on it at the end of his last video. But yeah, there is a shift, and we're going to talk about that. And listen, there's nothing wrong with, changing your brand, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The problem is that don't do it at the expense of others. If he had said what he said, passport bros are selling you a dream. And, I know that's between him and the passport bros, but I'm just calling this out because, quite frankly, it's, you could say this without saying the passport. You could have said your message without mentioning the passport bros. But now that you see them as competition to maintaining your lifestyle, you're on the attack. And I've seen this happen so many times in the red pill spaces that I'm just really annoyed by it. All right, actually, let me read some comments before I go. All right, it says, how Auston going to be a dating coach when he himself doesn't have substantial receipts? I think he does. Like, I'll put it like this. He has more receipts than any dating coach that I've seen. Meaning that I've seen him interact with more women than any of the other dating coaches. Now, none of these were American women, but that's not his claim. So at least he has receipts for international dating coaches. All right. Somebody says, exactly, man. Hate when folks having a hard time themselves and project it on the others. Once again, I think he's doing reasonably okay in the international setting. Like, bruh, learn how to get where you fit and learn every woman you approach will want. I think you mean will not want you. But yeah. All right, let's see. It's funny because he was the one selling a dream on the passport bro thing when he first started out. Nasty work. Yeah. Okay. He wants something more. Here's what Auston wants. Here's what Auston wants from a dating market, because that's right now he's going from market to market, looking for this one thing. Here's what most men want from a dating market, and this is really what white men have. Black men want this from a dating market, but they don't want to do what's necessary in order to get it. Men want women to have this particular mindset as it applies to them. I will do anything to marry you. Now, that mindset puts men in a great position. It puts men in a position to pump and dump indefinitely or settle down as they wish to do so. They can pretty much do whatever they want. They want to be in a position for women to say, I will do anything to marry you. Now, an obstacle that black men has is, hold on right quick. Got to do some work there. All right. Now, the opposition that black men have, or the complication that black men have in getting that, is our anti-tricking policy, because what that also translates into is anti-financial support, anti-traditionalism, I'm going to be as least of a provider as I possibly can. Women aren't eager to marry that. If you are attractive enough, women are eager to bed you. But that's about it. He's not getting that reaction. He's not getting that, hey, I'll let you sample some of this good for the possibility. I'm basically gonna play pussy lottery, with you. And if I got to get on my knees for the off chance that you'll marry me and I can live the life of a housewife to a black man, I'm going to do that. That doesn't even seem feasible because so many of us want to be players and game dudes. That doesn't even seem feasible to international women. So we don't get that treatment. But that's why the white guys get the treatment of, the extra nice waitress. They're basically showing like, okay, I am a nice person. I am a sweet person for the off chance that you might marry me. That's what Auston wants. That's what he's not getting. That's why he started this rampage. I'm reading one more. It says, Auston is anti-tricking because he doesn't have the funds for that lifestyle. Okay, so we've seen Coach Greg Adams. And at least I've seen it. I've seen that before I've seen this right here. And I think he brought that point up. I don't know if he was talking about Auston in particular, but he did bring that up. That may be the case. I do know that that's why anti-tricking is baked into this Black American culture that we have here, because historically we didn't have the money to trick. And we most certainly didn't have the money to trick at the rate of a white person. Just like a local person in some of the countries that we go to, the local men cannot afford to trick the way we can. For example, I was in the Philippines, right? And I asked a bar girl, how much does it cost and what do I get? Now, she wasn't okay. She was either pregnant and not showing, are lying to me because she didn't want to have sex with me. Either one of these things are true. The way it works, for those of you who've been to Filipino bars, back me up on this, is they sit with you, drink with you, have a conversation with you. And what happens is they get like a percentage of the drinks that you buy them. Soft drinks. So I get a Sprite, she get a Sprite, and she gets how like half the cost of that Sprite, which is like maybe like 50 cents. So that's what she does. And also, and in addition to that, she's a prostitute. And it could be that she was just saying that she was pregnant because of that, because she thought that if she said a price, that I would just go up to the manager and be like, okay, I'd like to take her home. Maybe, or maybe she genuinely was pregnant, but she wasn't showing, right? Either way, she gave me the cost, and the cost, this was like 2017, was $40. $40. And I'm assuming of that, the house gets 20 and she gets 20. Now, the average daily income of a Filipino is about $1 or some change. You balling if you get $2 a day. So he's not going to, take like weeks of pay just to take her home. He can't afford to trick like that. So, of course, for him, the culture is going to be against tricking. He has to find some other way to get his wee-wee wet. He has to. And in addition to that, there's going to be a disdain for guys, foreigners, who get it that way. Now, let's rewind this back to the Black community and where the term honky comes from. What's a honky? A honky is a white guy that goes into a Black neighborhood that's honking for Black women. That's where that term comes from. Now, why were they honking for Black women? Well, I think that the reason is obvious. So that's where that term comes from. It is a pejorative. Why they were able to do that? Because of money. So at that point in our cultural evolution, we got it into our minds that spending money for sex, bad. That's something that honkies do. And getting it on your charisma, et cetera, is good. So Coach Greg Adams is right to point out that it is a what's the word I'm looking for? It is a broke person's thing to have this particular mindset towards sex. Hit the like button, people, because I'm about to go deep into it. Now, does that mean that Auston Holleman? I don't know, because I don't know what his income is. I don't know what his cash flow is, and I really don't care to know. That's none of my business. But I do know that the wealthier you are, the less you think about that. Like Don Sterling, who owns a freaking NBA team, he has no problem with that. He has no problem with that concept. And that's because the more money you have, the lower percentage of your net worth it is. For example, when I was a kid, something like a toy or some candy or something is going to cost you. It's going to cost you. You actually had to think about spending. I don't know how much an action figure. I don't remember how much an action figure costs. Probably because I didn't have it. But you actually had to think about. You had to think before you spend that money on that Ninja Turtle, on that G.I. Joe, on that Transformer. You had to think about that. Now, if I wanted a toy, same thing like an action figure or something, most of the times I don't even have to ask how much it costs. Do you still play with action figures? No. But do I still have like bobbleheads and stuff like that on my desk? Yes. Not a big deal when you're an adult. $40 is, it could be a high percentage of a person's income. If you are a person who makes $20 an hour, then what that $40 represents is 2 hours of work. Now, if your work is something like, you're Al Bundy and you sell women's shoes, and for whatever reason, only fat women come to your shoe store, and you're pushing fat women's shoes on your feet. So 2 hours of that. And you say, okay, after 2 grueling hours of fat women feet in my face, do I really want to just give that up to, this Filipina broad? Now, if you are a person who works in, say, cybersecurity, and your job is to sit there and make sure that a secure system is secure still, and you make, let's just say, $80 an hour, then really, that 30 minutes represents the time that it took you to log into your secure system. And if you're a person that, that makes buku YouTube money, if you're somebody like lead attorney, for example, and within the first 5 seconds, somebody sends you $40. So it's different depending on the person, is what I'm getting at. It's different depending on the person. Anyway, let's start playing this.
Inside, and my bank account is loving it as well, because it is almost as expensive as it is back home in the States, in Texas, if not more expensive than me in Dallas. Yes, it is. So we will make head to Turkey next, and just head to Turkey in this Europe trip, because I'm blowing more money. I could be saving more. I could have more money in my pocket. Anyway, that's not today's topic.
Okay, so I see what y'all saying. This is my second time watching this, but I see what y'all saying, that he might be broke. I mean, not wanting to spend money in an expensive country doesn't necessarily mean you're broke, but he definitely has money on the mind.
If you guys are new here, I'm Auston Holleman. I'm a world traveler, and I'm doing a social experiment with socializing with people around the world, living in other countries, and dating other women, and getting online and journalizing. Social studies. Now, today I want to talk about this. Passport bros, a good majority of them are selling you guys a fake dream. And you guys can see that from my channel, right? That's why a lot of them choose to, we're going to get into this later, but they choose to discredit me. Because I get online and I can show you in real time what it's like in these other countries. So people might sell Sao Paulo a certain type of way, but I get on live and there's a chick argue with me that I didn't even talk to, but they're all so feminine in certain cities. It's so perfect in Sao Paulo. None of these places are perfect the way how they're sold to you. Is it better? Absolutely, it is better. That's why I still live abroad.
Okay. I don't know who he's talking about. Granted, I don't really watch Passport Bros like that. I don't. I watch 1MT. I watch Skylar. I can't say his last name, but I watch Skylar. Watch a couple of others. Game Abroad from time to time. Nobody is saying that anywhere is perfect as a regular thing or as a factual statement. Don't get me wrong. Like somebody can eat some ice cream, and then the person comes along, the Baskin and Robin girl come along and say, hey, how's your ice cream? Perfect. Now, of course, it's not perfect. That just means it's good. It's better than the air that was in my mouth before I put ice cream in it. Is essentially what they were saying. But that's even rare that a Passport Bro is talking like that. So right off the bat, we have a straw man. I don't even know of any that went to Sao Paulo, yet alone someone who says, oh yeah, this is perfect. And then for him to go and say, yeah, no, this isn't perfect. Like, well, no, it's not perfect, but it is good. Wouldn't you agree? It's better than Dallas.
Went back to Dallas, and it was some bullshit. So I was like, yeah, I made the right decision by moving. This was just confirmation. But a lot of these people are selling these dreams to you as if it's just a utopia. And I'm telling you, you're still dealing with people. They just don't have as much of a messed up mindset and brainwashed and degenerate mindset as they do in the United States. Okay. Now, how are they selling your dream? First,
I don't know what that statement means. You're still dealing with people. They just don't have the same degenerate mindset. What did we think they were before you told us that they'll be that they're people? Like, oh, you mean South American people? You mean South American humans are people? I didn't know that they were people. I thought that they were Austro-Neanderthal. Like, what did we think that they were?
First of all women around the world don't like all men. And I'm saying this as a Black American man.
Who in the world thought that all women liked all men? There's a really dumb straw argument. There's a really dumb straw man argument that he has going on for passport bros. I want to remind everybody, I'm not a passport bro. Who in the world thought, okay, first of all, and he's talking about ethnic groups. If they like your ethnic group, even if you were under the impression that, they like your particular ethnic group, which is very similar to their own ethnic group. So, even if he was under that impression, then that means that they don't like another ethnic group as much. So everybody knew that they don't like all groups because it's impossible.
We've been sold this dream. I never bought it, but we've been sold that Black American men are the most desired men on the planet. Yeah, fucking right. Yeah, fucking right. First of all, if you go to another country, for example, Romania, Romanians prefer Romanians. Russians prefer Russians. Kenyans prefer Kenyans. The women usually prefer somebody from their own country. That's the number one fact. When we start talking about foreigners, if you ask me, we're not the first foreigner they prefer, depending on where you go. They prefer white men before Black men in Latin America. This is just what it is.
I don't know how many times he has to say this. Yes, there's truth in it for a number of reasons. First of all, you got to look at it from their perspective. These blue-eyed guys come out of nowhere, or, they come out of a whole new world. Many of them, make good on the promise of setting them up for life. We already talked about that. But also, they are visible. They are visible. There have been so many instances where I was in Latin America and wasn't identified as a Latin American until I spoke. So I didn't have foreign money tattooed on my face. I didn't have that. I wasn't walking around like, yes, I got that money. I was walking around looking like somebody who come from a different neighborhood from their point of view. playing dominoes on the beach with the same dudes that she shot down last week. That's what I look like. So of course they're going to be like that. They're going to have that. They're going to, you're not a visibly wealthy dude. They don't associate you with wealth because they come from a place in the world where people look like you with very little wealth. All right, so I'm looking at the chat room. People are asking about Bernard Riley. I do talk to Bernard Riley from time to time. I haven't really, he has went through a life change. If it's temporary or permanent, who knows? It is positive for him, and it does lead to less time for videos. He has gone through a life change. Be patient. So is Chantel. Be patient is what I have to say about that. Like, you like their content. I like their content. Be patient. If you don't hear from them again, then be happy for them. See, when you're not Auston Holleman, this is it's a hobby combined with a gift to the world. I used to tutor young people in mathematics. That was a hobby. In addition to that, it was my gift to them. I was doing it for free. It's not something that we're required to do. It's not something that we have to do. It's not something that we get paid. We're not given a lifestyle for doing it. At least I was. I'm out of the two people I mentioned, I make less than both of them on YouTube. But it was something that they want to do. So appreciate it when it's done and show your appreciation, membership, Cash App, Super Chats, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Do that. But don't be upset if you don't hear from them for a while. Don't.
You can disagree. This is just what it is. Okay, that's why Latin America is so mixed. For example, I've dated many Afro-Latinas in Latin America.
Did he say that's why Latin America is so mixed? A lot of this I didn't catch the first time. But did he just say that's why Latin America is so mixed? So he's not familiar with slavery, colonization, grape. He's not familiar with that, really? It was all consensual? Really? Okay, let's play some more. It's getting weird.
America, my first few girlfriends in Brazil and Rio were Afro-Latina because that's what I prefer is black women, right? All those black women in Rio, the previous man that they were with was a white guy, and they were black. More than likely in the United States, if you're in Dallas, if you're in Houston, if you're in New York, if you're in Miami, if you're in Atlanta, if you're in LA, most black women usually had a previous black boyfriend, and the guy before may have been black, and the guy before may have been black. It's not as common in the States for women to just hawk on fucking white men the way how they do in Latin America and even Asia.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. These guys are visibly wealthy. They are visibly wealthy. I'm going to say this one more time. They are visibly wealthy. Being white in Latin America, being white in Asia is the visual equivalent to walking down the street with your NBA jersey on. And not like a a fake one that anybody could buy at Target. No, like you are a warrior. Not literally, and not from that 70s movies, that's a classic, but you are a Golden State Warrior. And you just so happen to be walking down the neighborhood with your shorts and your jersey on. That's what it's like being white in these places. Have a Golden State Warrior walk down the hood with his jersey on. And it's sewed into your skin. That is, and watch the way the women react. Like, oh man. So I remember in college, right? I'm a nerd. I don't really follow basketball like that. So I didn't know what is it? NBA All-Star Week or something like that. And I think it was like in Vegas, or it was out here in Northern California or something like that. And I'm at the mall. This was like a regular day. I'm at the mall with the homies, right? And all the bad ones was out. All the bad ones was out. It was an abnormally high concentration of attractive women in that mall that day. And I'm like, whoa. So I talked to one of them, right? And then they tell me something about NBA All-Star Weekend. And me, being the nerd I am, say, what's that? And when they told me what it was, I'm like, wow. Wow. This is what it's like. Do those chicks watch basketball? No, they don't. No, they don't. Are these chicks interested in getting with these guys because they have an infatuation with their occupation? Not so much. Meaning that their occupation is a point of interest to them? Not so much. Do they like tall, wealthy men? Yes. Yes. Being a white guy in these countries is the equivalent to NBA All-Star Weekend. All these chicks got in their best thongs for a chance to get with the super wealthy. Now, a median or a lowly paid NBA basketball player makes the same ratio of wealth that I do, or that an average American does, to a local developing country person. So in Brazil, they make like $10 a day. The average American makes like $25 an hour. So they really make like, what is that? 24 times that. So yes, do many NBA players make 24 times what I make? Yes, they do. So yes, they are going to do that. It's the same reaction. These are guys who are visibly wealthy. By the way, I'm not an honest person when it comes to certain things. I'm generally an honest person. But if I just so happen to have been, and I don't know what the shortest NBA player is. I don't know. I'm 6'0", which I know that even the short ones aren't 6'0". But if I just so happen to be 6'6", which is probably short for an NBA dude, and I'm just walking in the crowd, and a broad comes and says, "Are you a basketball player?" I would say, "Yes, yes, I am." All right, Educated Tyrone says the shortest NBA player is 5'8". All right, so I'm taller than the shortest NBA player. He's probably just one of those Spud Webb type people, but y'all know what I mean. Like outside of the outliers, what's the shortest and I just know that in America, because they actually asked me that in the Philippines because I was relatively taller than everyone there, but and I'm black. But if I was of a height to where I would give off the appearance of a NBA player, and a baddie was to say, if one of the girls in the malls was saying, "Hey, are you here for the Hoop It Up?" Because they were asking, not Hoop It Up, we have that too. I used to go to that too, but the NBA All-Star Weekend, if they were asking if I was going in the audience, but if they were to ask, like, "Are you an NBA player?" The answer to that question would be yes. Yes, I am. We're getting off topic here, but yes, local women do react that way. These guys are visibly wealthy, and they have a proven history of sharing that wealth. A proven history of sharing that wealth. So yes, they're going to give them the NBA star treatment. I'm no more, I really don't care. Just like I don't care that these NBA All-Star dudes were getting the NBA All-Star treatment. I don't care.
Like I said before, you guys ever notice how the best Thai women are with another Asian guy because that's similar to their culture, or they're with a white guy? Now, we got some brothers down there, Black American men, that have some good-looking women in these other countries. Not saying it's always the case, but when we bring up an average of what you see when you're down there, it's not us that they're preferring, first of all. So can Black American men win around the world? Yes, I am. I was in Portugal. I was in Manaus for sure. Even though Sao Paulo required a lot more effort, I was doing well there. I did well in Santiago, Chile. There's women in every city around the world that prefer or that are open to Black men. Let's change this narrative. Women around the world are open to Black American men, but to say prefer, for example, I prefer Black women. It doesn't matter if they're from Africa, United States, Latin America. I prefer Black.
Okay, I don't really know which passport, because he never really says that. He shoots back at the passport bros for something that very few, if any, said. But okay, let's be clear. He's talking about the difference between prefer and willing to embrace. And the short answer of that is no, we're not top preference. But you don't have to be someone's top preference to be preferred. Okay, I got the best example ever. Before Oakland started declining, let's just say that, we had, NBA, NFL, and National Baseball League in one city, in one area. How much should a player for the Oakland A's complain that the chicks preferred Raiders, or they preferred, they preferred Warriors? Should you really give a shit? Should you really give a shit? And don't get me wrong, I don't mind him mentioning it, but he's really trying to weaponize this. He's that Oakland A's player that was sitting next to a Raider or a Warrior, like, oh, these broads prefer that. I'm going to tell all my teammates. It's like, listen, it's not that serious. It's not that serious. Educated Tyrone said weaponizing it is weird. Okay, somebody said Austin prefers Keisha from Dallas. He won't admit it. LOL. Okay. He does prefer Keisha from Dallas. And he did admit it. He did say that he prefers a woman like his mother. Now, he said that before we knew how his mother is. But his mother is a Keisha from somewhere, likely Dallas, possibly Dallas. Mother's definitely Keisha. I'm not going to talk about a man's mom. Somebody says, "Oh, really? Yeah, I got the clip." I'm not going to talk about a man's mom, but I'm not telling him something he doesn't know. So yes, he does prefer Keisha from the U.S. Let's just say that, and that's because Keisha from the U.S. withholds her validation, and she guards it the way most women would guard their virginity, or their reputation. She guards her validation because that's really all she has. That's why Keisha from the hood, don't smile at people when you walk past her, because that's a form of validation. She's guarding that. Sex is a form of validation. She's guarding that. She guards her validation, and that's so the men of her community will feel invalid. Austin needs that feeling of validation. That's why when he originally traveled, he was cleaning up, but he wasn't getting the validation that he wanted, because these women were as interested in their money as they were in him. You need that validation. Listen, whenever you put yourself in a position to want or need something that only a certain group of people can offer you, then you are a slave to that group of people, especially in a situation where you can't take it. All right. For those of you who was born this side of the millennium, let me y'all know what I'm talking about. There is a movie. There's a movie, an oldie but goodie. Shout out to Tina Turner. Shout out to Mel Gibson. This movie is called Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. It takes place in a nuclear wasteland, just like the new Mad Max movies. It takes place in a wasteland. Mel Gibson go to Bartertown, and he's there, and he comes across a midget who is sitting on the neck of a tall person. Combined, they're supposed to be like mind and body. They share a name called Master Blaster. Master is the midget. Blaster is the muscle. So the governor of the town is Tina Turner. She runs the whole town. She's the governor. She's the elected queen of the town. Master Blaster, or Master rather, he runs the energy source. He keeps the lights on. He figured out a way to turn pig shit into energy. So he was explaining to Mel Gibson who runs Bartertown. And he called up Tina Turner. He was like, "Who runs Bartertown?" And she's like, "Why are you playing this game?" He's like, No, turn off the power. Turn off the electricity. Turn off the pig shit methane. Who runs Bartertown, bitch? And she straight up said, Master Blaster runs Bartertown. It's like, I can't hear you. She was like, Master Blaster runs Bartertown. Listen, you may be the queen, the governoress, or whatever, but I have a resource that you can only get from me. Means I run this motherfucker. Run this shit. So the only way out of a situation like that is you either take it, which is what they did in the movie, which is what I would never do, nor would I recommend anyone else do. Or you learn to get your own energy source, get your energy source from elsewhere, etc., 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 or learn to live without it. Now, why am I saying this? Learn to live without these bitches' validation. Focus on if they are valid to you, not if you are valid to them. If so, Keisha can call you from Paradise, Brazil. Keisha can give you a call from Paradise, Brazil, and say, who runs Auston Holleman? Keisha runs Auston Holleman. Say it louder. Keisha runs Auston Holleman. Like, you can't do. Who in the fuck can? What Keisha in the world can call GameChanger and say, she run me? Fuck that. I do not need your validation. But no matter how much ass he's always going to seek that validation. That's a damn shame. But so many brothers are like that. Hit the like button.
I'm open. I've dated white women since I've been going. I've dated mestizas since I've been going. I've dated Asian women. That doesn't mean that I don't date them. It's just when I have my ideal girl in my mind, she's usually black. What I'm telling you is women in Asia and Latin America, usually their ideal guy is not somebody that looks like me. Okay? It just is what it is. Now, can you find...
And once again, that's his validation. It's not enough to put your penis in a bitch's mouth. It's not enough to put your penis in a bitch's mouth and come. That's not enough. You actually care about how much she fantasized about. I don't give a fuck. I do not give a fuck. I do not care. When my dick is in a bitch's mouth, I do not care if she's thinking about Michael B. Jordan dick. I don't care if she's thinking about Brad Pitt's dick. I do not care if she's thinking about Leonardo DiCaprio's dick. I do not care if she's thinking about Screech from Saved by the Bell dick. I just care that she's sucking mine. What in the fuck? Get past this need for validation. Because that's what game dudes are trying to sell. Game dudes are trying to sell validation. That's what they're selling you. They're not selling you ass. They're trying to sell you validation. It's like, oh, if you want to get a woman's validation, then what you need to do is become handsome and get with an ugly bitch. That's not validation from an ugly ass bitch. And quite frankly, that's another reason why black men are in the state that they are in, that we are in internationally, because they see your ass. They see your ass as desperate and needy, which reads weak to women. You can't do like the white boys. You can't walk into a place and confidently say, I got something you want more than what you have that I want. You can't walk into a place and say that. If you can't walk into a fucking bar in the Philippines and say that about yourself, then you are reeking insecurity. You are reeking weakness. They see you coming like miles away. miles away. If you could walk into an establishment and say, bitch, my pinky ring could set your ass up for life. Then you start feeling different. But if you walk into a place like, I hope one of these bitches validate me, you are out your fucking mind. That's weakness. They sense that. And no matter where you are begging for validation.
Women in these other countries that prefer black men. Can you find that? I've met men that live in Colombia that said that their wife preferred black men. He married her. That's something that is real. You guys remember Kate? Does Kate look like she would ever date a Thai guy? She actually told me she only dates black guys. But does she look like she would?
And that's the damn problem. Looking for a woman's validation winds you up with Kate. Why was Austin with the fattest bitch in Thailand? And somebody, and yeah, I hear she was a hoe too. Why? Because Kate gives him something more important than beauty. More important than booty. Kate gives him validation. I don't know if I told y'all this story or if I said it just on movie night, right? By the way, movie night is every other Thursday, so the last one was yesterday. We watched that Megan Good movie, and I'm gonna do a review on that. That divorced Megan Good, Corey Hardwick movie. But what was I gonna say? All Kate offers is validation. Oh, I was gonna tell that story. Okay. So this Filipino dude, cab driver, I'm gonna give you the short version of the story. He first hit me with, women in this country don't like black men. I'm like, all right, well, more food in, and I was actually thinking that, I'll be honest, when I was in the Philippines, one of the things that came to my mind was, y'all must got some little ass dicks. And this isn't a shot at Filipinos, right? But I was thinking that because they didn't have large condoms for sale anywhere. They didn't have larger size condoms at all. No place you go to has them because there isn't a market for them. That's an aside. But he tried to take down my confidence or some shit like that. Same thing Austin is doing. He's like, we don't like the women don't like black. Like, okay, that's fine. They don't like that. I'm more concerned about what the fuck I like, and then he tried to get me with his sister-in-law, some fat old bitch, and then when I seen it, I was like, well, I don't like fat women, right? And from the looks of her, because the apple don't fall too far from the apple next to it. What's going on, Shakanulu? I had to conclude that his wife was a fat chick as well, But I mean, it be these like Kate style women that use that as a gimmick. That use that like, I validate your blackness. I may not be the hottest on the island, and I may not be the hottest that's available to you, but I do validate your blackness. I don't give a fuck about that. I care about beauty, youth, skill, and technique. Fuck your validation. I'm valid without these bitches' validations. That's the thing. Kay didn't offer this dude anything but a mush to the face on his own damn show. She didn't offer him anything but validation. You don't like to feel wanted? I don't care. I don't care. I like the feeling of dick in mouth. Not my mouth, but my dick. I like that feeling. At least she could tell me. She could tell me and I won't give a shit. She could tell me while sucking my dick that this is the worst dick she ever sucked and I still won't give a shit. I do not need these broads' validation. Fuck that.
Date a Thai guy. You know, you can look at some of these chicks and tell that they're for us. Those are niche. Those are specific. Just like you have most black men in America want black women, right? Kevin Samuels even told you guys that. Most black men want black women. But you do have some black guys in the States that say, I would never date a black girl. It makes sense only to believe that black men prefer black women because their mother was black. That's what they saw growing up. It's somebody that can relate to the most. And then we can get further into brainwashing in Latin America, in media, in colonization. All those things play a role. But I'm just telling you guys this. Most people prefer people where they're from. But that does not mean you don't have options. You're not going to convince me that I can go to Romania and more than 50% of Romanian women want to marry a black guy. They might fuck you. They might sleep with you. Yeah. Just the same way how I wouldn't really see myself marrying an Asian woman. Will I smash one? I have plenty of them. I don't think, I've met Asian women in Latin America and Sao Paulo. I met them in when I was in Portugal. Beautiful. I don't even approach them. It's not my preference. Doesn't mean that if they showed interest, I would decline them just because they're Asian. But it's just not my preference. So that's something that has to be understood. We can't, because a lot of these guys are selling this dream that they want us and only us. And if we go abroad,
I don't know who is selling that particular dream. I really don't. I will say that, and this is something that you can't really prove, but it is something that's obvious. It's definitive. And that is that, money aside, and for pure lustful purposes, we are preferred. But you can never completely put money aside when dealing with women, because money is always going to be a factor in a man's overall attraction. Money aside, black men are preferred. I could see a person saying something like that, and that may or may not be true. There is evidence to support it. Like, women who travel solely for sexual purposes do so to black countries and continents. Like, hey, women who are traveling for penis, they find themselves in Jamaica, Africa, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Women who travel for money, they find themselves in Europe or Asia. So there is a there, but it really don't matter when you're not seeking validation like that.
we can just snag whoever we want. It's not the fucking case. But yes, if any city you go to in the world,
that's not the fucking case for anybody, anywhere, at any time.
You can find a woman that likes you. Yes. That's even in the United States. You can go to wherever the Ku Klux Klan is, wherever their headquarters is at. There's some racist ass white girl that maybe she'll sleep with you. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of us are getting confused with she'll sleep with us with she loves us. Just saying. Now,
I don't give a shit. It's not that we're confused. It's that we don't give a shit. I don't need this. Oh, I think she likes me. Oh, I do not give a fuck. she's sleeping with me, that means that she's like, I don't care. So years ago, and if y'all look far enough on my community post, y'all see it. Seen this porn. And it was, and I put this question to the people. And I don't know how I felt about it. It was a good porn. It started off with a black man, a brother, who was a milkman. And then he was delivering milk to these two white Russian women that invited him in. And they, it's a porn, so they started doing the do. I'm not gonna say how, but the milk was involved, and I was like, oh shit, this is some freaky shit. And I'm not gonna say what they're doing to the milk. If y'all want to know, email me. I'm not gonna say it, but let's just say it was some freaky shit. And I was like, oh damn, this is some interesting stuff. And in the middle of it, she said, give me some of that with the ER dick. And I was just like, whoa. Like, she hit dude with the ER. She said, give me some of that with the E, in a Russian accent. Give me some of that with the ER dick. And I was like, oh. So my question, and once again, this is on my community tab. Brothers, would you stop? Would you stop and correct the bitch? Or would you just keep going and say, fuck it? So my point is that yeah, it's a thing. I don't seek it out, but it is a thing. Once again, it's not that big a deal. But yeah, just stop focusing on what goes on in the bitch's mind. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Thanks for being a channel member, Deacon Dave.
Most women worldwide are not submissive. The world is becoming westernized. So if you guys love Brazil, based off the experiences that I've had and the stuff that I've heard those women say, you got about 5 or 10 more years before that shit is going to be just like the United States. I mean, let's look at.
No place is just like the United States. None. And not 5-10 years from now, no place is going to be just like the United States. Okay. The United States use 5 times its resources. So every place can't be like the United States because it would take 5 planets in order for them to have the resources that we have. It would take 5 Earths. Will the westernized mentality spread, to Brazil? Quite frankly, I could see it possibly happening, but not nowhere near to the extent that it is here in the US. Nowhere near. It took us a long time, a long decline of being the world's wealthiest nation to come close to this.
Get some things that's similar to the United States, right? In Brazil, talking bad about gay people can get you put in prison. So just like you can get canceled for talking about them in the States, yeah, you can get put in prison over there. We all know they have feminism in Brazil. Does that mean you can't date Brazilian women? No. But for example, I had this one Brazilian chick I was dating, and I told her, like,
we all know that feminism exists in Brazil because they kicked your ass out of it. And it is amazing because you get kicked out of a whole damn country for talking shit about that country. And then you go back and talk some more shit. People don't like to be called sluts. People don't like having their women called sluts. People don't like having their men called racists. People do not like shit like this, Austin.
Like, yeah, you're my baby. It's a flirty way. I didn't think nothing of it when I said it. Her response was, "No, I'm not yours. I don't like to be objectified. I'm nobody's property. Are you?"
Leave that bitch. Leave that bitch.
You fucking serious? You just killed the whole romance. Women, that's not the first chick that says something like that in Brazil. Now, if you go to other countries like somewhere maybe like Paraguay or Peru or Kenya or Colombia, no chick is gonna have an issue with you saying that you're their baby. I mean, what if I fucking marry her? I can't call her my wife. Get the fuck out of here. But that sounds like that's a dumb logic, right? That sounds like feminism. That sounds like the same shit that the women say in the States sometimes, right? Well, most times, right?
This is amazing. I have to say. This is some amazing shit, because what Austin just did, and he wondered why countries have a problem with what he does, is he'll go to a country, smash all the bitches, and then find something to complain about. And then, spread that complaint as if it's a problem with the entirety of the country. Because before Sao Paulo, he appeared to have had a magnificent time in each and every single other place in Brazil. He comes to Sao Paulo and then he talks shit about the whole country, calling the whole country racist. He was just like, Brazil's not racist like Kenya. The women of Brazil, like, it's like, no, it's this woman. It's this woman. It's this woman. And it's not like, okay, I could see somebody having an opinion of something, of a group of people, if the overwhelming majority of your experience with this group of people has been bad. Like, I could picture like a Chinaman coming to Oakland and getting robbed, getting bullied by Black people. And that is 100% of his experience. I could see a person like that being justifiably racist. I could see that. But if the overwhelming majority of the experiences that you had was good, and I mean great, and the bad experiences consisted of a Black woman giving a white man more attention than you, now you're just nitpicking.
So there you have it. Ask a Brazilian chick, does she want to be a stay-at-home wife for you? I bet you 60% of the time she's going to say no, she doesn't want to be dependent on a man. So a lot of these countries, women are not, yes, I've had women in Brazil cook and clean and do all the things that we fantasize about. I've had that done in numerous countries, right? Even in Tanzania, I've had that. And I recommend Tanzania for that stuff. But slowly, with time, worldwide, that stuff is starting to disappear. Some people like say, oh, well, that's because you go to the big cities. Yeah, people.
Okay. Why would a chick want to be dependent on you? The complaint is weird considering the source, but once again, it goes back to what I was saying about what men want. Men want to be put in a situation where women will do anything to be their wife. That's what Austin wants. That's what white men have that he don't have, that he's upset that he don't have. Basically, what he's doing is he's complaining that the broads that he's not looking to wife is not looking to be wives. That is what he's complaining about. He's complaining that the women who wants to pump and dump the women that he wants to pump and dump wants to be pumped and dumped. I'm going to repeat that. This guy is complaining that the women that he wants to pump and dump wants to be pumped and dumped.
Live in big cities in these other countries when we move for the same reason we live in big cities in the United States. Do you notice how a lot of people live in Dallas compared to Waco? There's a fucking reason for that, because big cities have more opportunity and they're more convenient. I'm not going to move to some small ass town, shithole in Texas, where if I need to go to the hospital, it's going to be 30 minutes for me to get there. Versus when I lived in Dallas, I could literally walk next door to a hospital. And if I didn't live to that hospital, there was another hospital within 5 minutes away. Big cities. That's why we moved there. Most of you guys are not trying to move to a fucking village. So these issues of Westernization, you're going to...
I'll move to wherever the fuck I'm happy. This is the gloom and doom, and this is the weaponized blah, 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 blah. This is what I'm talking about. Most people are not going to move to big cities. Well, they're big cities because most people live there. But nevertheless, this is the gloom and doom. It's like you can't find happiness in a big city. And it's like, damn, dude. You're talking to people who have already moved for happiness.
Deal with if you move to Nairobi, if you move to Sao Paulo, if you move to Rio, if you move to Salvador, if you move to Santiago, Chile, you're going to notice some of these things that we don't like out of women. Is not the majority of them in these other countries, but you will notice that you do come across them from time to time. So the thing that these women are just, oh, it's nothing wrong with it. Oh, Brazil's never going to flip. No, America doesn't have to do it. They're doing it to themselves. So yes, everything is not peaches and cream, but it is better. I'd rather deal with this than deal with what I was dealing with in the States. Yes, I would agree with that.
Okay.
I'm your only friend.
If you find yourself in a position where that's true, then you have no friends. If Austin is your only friend, you have no friends. And this isn't because it's a bad thing to be friends with Austin. This is because Austin looks at friends as competitors. He looks at friends as somebody to compete with for validation, just like he does with the white dudes that are in his circle. He competed with these white dudes for validation and lost that competition. And, it started this whole, cry fest on YouTube.
Most of these guys on YouTube that are showing you guys this submissive lifestyle, they're dealing with prostitutes. They're paid actors. Guys that are claiming like, yeah, man, I went.
Like you were, right? I mean, let's be honest. Kay was on your payroll. She was a employee that you were smashing.
Went to this country and I was just running through them. Yeah, they were talking about how they went to the whorehouse. They weren't referring to them just approaching women on the street and the woman just want to just drop their panties when they saw them. Guys, I know for a fact I look pretty good. Okay?
He says this a lot. I don't know if he's trying to convince himself or us of this. I don't really know what he's trying to convince. If he's trying to convince us or he's trying to convince himself that he's a handsome man. But once again, this goes to the need for validation. He needs to feel validated. He's like, I'm a good looking man. I'm a good looking man. Like, okay. Okay, you're a good looking man. You need that validation. and you're not getting it here in the States. But let's talk about good-looking men, for example. For for now, let's talk about that. There are some people who may look good, but they're not attractive enough. There are some guys who are handsome but not handsome enough. I guess Austin's thing is that he's come to the conclusion that he's not handsome enough for America. He's not handsome enough for America, so he's looking for a country where he feels handsome. And what he's finding is countries who are more concerned about what the guys have in their wallet than what they have on their face. Because quite frankly, and this isn't me judging his looks or anything, but this is just me understanding the dynamics of certain places in the world. Quite frankly, you're not handsome enough for the countries you go to. Your edge is your money in these places. Brazil has handsome men. If women want some handsome penis, there isn't a shortage of that. Just like there isn't a shortage of it here. So, he says like, I'm a good looking guy. I'm a good looking guy. I'm a good looking, like, okay, yeah. So that doesn't matter. So there was a guy, he was on Danika's stream, who was homeless. He was homeless, online with some will work for food shit, and 1,000 bitches, and I think they probably was in Texas, offered him a place to stay in a warm bed. So he had his looks validated because he has no money. That's what Austin is really seeking. That is what he's looking for in the world.
Women don't just look at me and just want to drop their panties. So I know these motherfuckers that are online telling you guys that shit. I know for a fact that
who in the hell is telling? Why is he coming up with these straw man shit? Who is telling guys that? Who is telling people that? I travel. I'm not a passport bro, but I travel. I have never claimed that women look at me and drop their panties. What in the fuck? Like, I'm trying to think, like, who's the passport bro that well, y'all know it. Y'all watch passport bro content, I'm sure. So, hey, if there's a guy out there like that, name him. Because if not, this is some straw man shit.
they don't look better than me, and they're fucking lying to you. Next, money is not all it takes. It's not all it takes. People, yes, your dollar goes further in Brazil. Yes, it does better. But guess what? That's not all you need. If you lead with money, just the same way how you guys like to trick in the States and, oh, baby, you're beautiful. Let me give you $150 for your light bill, like a fucking sucker. If you go abroad doing that, you will get the same treatment that you got in the States. There are women that are low down and vultures in Brazil, in Colombia, in Peru, wherever the hell you go. There are some women that know American men are desperate and we behave that way and they're waiting to take advantage of you. That's why I told you guys to improve yourself and learn how to vet and get the right women and stop leaving your fucking wallet. Now, if you just want to trick and pay and go to a whore house and deal with sugar babies for the rest of your life, that's fine. Do that. But
that's good. I'm glad that you see that as fine. Because that's the way men feel who don't really give a shit about validation.
But my thing is, do not get online and tell guys that they're having something good when really it's all something we can all do.
Just because everybody can do it doesn't mean it's not good. Like, just because somebody else can do it doesn't mean that it's not good. See, that's a competition mindset, which comes from a scarcity mindset. The only way I could feel something good is if the only way I'm happy is if I'm getting pussy and others aren't. Otherwise, it don't count. Like, if I get some pussy and Floyd gets some pussy, then it don't count because it's not valid. She didn't validate me. She just did it for $40. It's good regardless, motherfucker. Like, validate yourself. Jesus Christ.
Shrek could do what you're doing. Fat Albert could do what you're doing.
And that bothers you. Get off of Fat Albert's dick. Get off of Shrek's penis. Get the fuck off of it. Every now and again, I'll see a pairing. And that pairing is lopsided, where the woman is significantly more attractive than the man. She's significantly more pretty than the man is handsome. Significantly. Biggie Smalls, for example. You know, and these are his words, not mine, you know. Black and ugly as ever. However, I stayed Gucci down to the side. Do Biggie Smalls give a fuck about physical validation? You're like, listen, heartthrob never, black and ugly as ever. However, I stayed Gucci down to the socks. He does not need validation. He just wants to see those panties drop. But brothers like this are just so overwhelmed, like, you know, like, oh yeah, you know, Biggie Smalls, he's getting this bitch and this bitch and this bitch, but you know, they really like me. They like, oh, I think they like me. I don't give a fuck. Dude, this is a fucking grown man's world. This is a man's world, and this is a grown man's world. This is a grown man's world. And I'm not saying go out and trick. Listen, do you. If you like the thrill of the hunt, thrill of the chase, then do you. But stop putting that shit onto others. Pac 2. I used to clown around when I hanged around with the underground. Girls used to frown, saying down when I come around. Harass me, they wouldn't last me, and they used to diss me. Harass me, but now they ask me if they can kiss me. You think he walked around like, yeah, it's not valid. Quincy Jones' daughter isn't valid because she only wants me, you know, now that I got on. You think he gives a shit? You are hyper concerned with validation. Who runs Auston Holleman? Keisha runs Auston Holleman.
Okay. That does not mean women in these other countries don't like resources, because worldwide women want a man that can provide for them. But if you're just leading with your wallet, dude, I mean, that's all you get. The minute you stop buying fun.
He wants genuine desire. I don't get, okay. Learn to not give a shit about that. I do not genuinely desire a bitch at all. Ever. So why would I care if I got that from them? Every chick I've ever been interested in and every chick I have ever been with had something that I wanted. Okay, for example, and this is how much of an asshole I am, and this is how much of an asshole that y'all should be. Shit is not genuinely desired. Listen, I have not genuinely desired a bitch. Even when I thought I did, I didn't. What do I mean by that? Back, I think this was like the Black Planet or MySpace days, right? Met a chick online. When I say I don't online date, I haven't online dated since like 2015 or something because the shit's trash now. But I used to back in the day. Met a broad, liked her picture, and all this shit, you know. Exchanged info, got her number. We start talking on the phone. Salute to her. Most honest chick ever. This was an honest ass chick. She straight up told me, I got AIDS. She was nice. She was cool. She was sexy. She was honest. I liked her. Never spoke to her ass again. Because I didn't genuinely desire her. I wanted something that she couldn't provide me. Everything that I wanted from her, she made clear that she could not provide me with those things in 3 words. I got AIDS. That was it. Any genuine desire I thought that I had for this broad is gone. Is gone. A lot of you dudes who think y'all have genuine desire for a broad who, you know, let something happen and then we'll figure out how much you really desire her. You know that chick that you see, and every time you see her, you know, it just turns into 90s music. She just walks into a room like, you know, girl, you make me want to leave the one I'm with and start a new relationship with you. This is what you do. You know that shit. You think you have genuine desire for her, and then let her tell you that she was born a man, and see how quick your desire just turns the fuck away. All right? I don't give genuine desire to these bitches. And I don't care if they give it to me. I don't give a shit.
Fucking purses and paying light bills. It's over. She's not even going to consider trying to stick around or even try to help you. She don't want to help you. She just want to keep draining your pockets. And that can happen to you abroad as well. Now, being an American is not as much as you think. Maybe at one point after World War II or after the Vietnam War, you could just be black and walk in, look, I got a blue passport. Oh my God. Guess what? Americans are not the only ones that have money. Americans are not the only ones that can transform these women's lives. They even have men in Brazil. They have 65 billionaires that live in Sao Paulo. So, for example, there are a lot of places like Sao Paulo you can go to and, oh, I'm American. Okay, nobody gives a fuck. Including me. I don't care that I'm American. That's why I don't ever ask when people say, where are you from? Texas. I'm from Texas. That's the state I'm from.
Well, I do say California. And this is, I don't really think too deep into it. I just assume that they know from how I talk, because English is not English. We both know an Australian person when we hear one. We all know a British person when we hear one. English is not English. American is not American, or American is not, it has a distinct dialect. So I do assume that they're asking where in America I'm from, and I do say California. Like, I don't go into specific cities, but like, yeah, I'm from California. I know California is a place that they've heard of, through their entertainment. I know that every foreigner has heard of Hollywood and things like that. So California, it's simple. And I don't really think of it like, but nor do I expect or care to flex my nationality. See, here's what separates Austin and I. I don't really care too much about why the panties drop, as long as they drop. Don't care why. That is the main difference between Austin and I. I'm not gonna whine and say, "Oh yes, it's dropping because they don't find me physically attractive," or if they do find me physically attractive, I'm just a fetish. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Just like on that porn, I don't give a fuck. You think Ron Jeremy gives a shit? Like, oh, they only fucking me, and doing all the nasty stuff to my ugly ass because that's their job. I don't give a fuck. And that's how white dudes are winning. They learn not to give a fuck. They learn not to be so desperate and needy for the validation of their lowest form of women. They have evolved past that. Tom Likas, heartthrob never, white and ugly as ever. He even says that, like, hey, I'm no heartthrob never. But he says that the women who fucks Tom Likas does it for a possibility of access to his wealth. Basically, it's free samples to wifehood, so they can divorce him and take his shit. He knows what he don't care as long as the panties drop.
From.
Okay.
I'm not trying to
look at this comment. Austin wants the panties to drop because of genuine burning desire. I do too. But it's my desire, not hers. I want the panties to drop for my desires, not hers. I want the panties to drop when my dick gets hard, not when her pussy gets wet. I want it to drop for my reasons, my desire. Says, but they're not giving a shit. Does come from plenty of options. Maybe. And maybe his giving a shit comes from the lack of options, at least here in the States. But the reason why, that's what Keisha does. That's what Keisha does. That's what leveraging the box is. Like, okay, I'm going to, withhold validation so he can value it more. But you don't just leave the matrix just by physically leaving the matrix. You actually have to leave the matrix mindset. It's like, listen, this is all crap. If Keisha told me 100 times a day I'm an ugly ass nigga, I would look in the mirror and still say, damn, you one good looking motherfucker. Fuck what these bitches say. That is leaving the mindset.
Fucking use some American leverage. That's never been my priority. I don't need to do that. I didn't need to do that in the States. I didn't need to lead with, I make $10,000 a month, $10,000 a month at the bar. I didn't need to lead with that. What did I need to lead with that for? Some of y'all do. I don't care. That's your thing. I'm just saying. Guys and other people. Now, am I saying that a European guy is better than me? No, I'm not saying it. They have options as well, especially if you
Okay, I'm letting the screen buffer, so for whatever reason it's messing up. But I agree with them. Like, the women have choices where they go. Maybe Americans or Black Americans isn't their top choice. Don't really care. Don't really care. It's part of the not giving a shit mentality that comes with being game changer. You will go insane worried about these broads' opinion of you. You will go literally fucking insane worrying about what Keisha thinks of you. You are. Train yourself to not give a fuck and take that mentality everywhere. People used to trip. Bernard used to trip. I used to be on Bernard Riley's show. And I would say, yeah, from time to time I give up some trash dick. My shit be awful. And bitches complain about how awful my dick is. How awful my stroke is. All that shit. And Bernard's like, oh, I can't believe you say that about yourself. And you think I give a fuck? I don't give a fuck. Say my dick is trash all you want to. Just say it after I nut. I don't give a fuck. You think I'm one of these Auston Holleman type niggas that just be out there, trying to find the proper combination of strokes to figure out a bitch's pussy? I do not give a fuck. I fuck how I want to, and if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, then don't fuck me again. I don't care.
Last point. Pay attention to people that will react to this video and discredit me. Pay attention to people that have discredited me recently in the past couple of weeks because of things that I've said that go against their narrative. What is false about what I just told you or what I've told you before? Do you believe that more than 50% of women
Well, I'll tell you what's false. It's the accusations that you're making towards the plurality of passport bros. It's not that what you're saying is false. It's that your claim that the passport bros are denying what you're saying is false.
In a certain country that doesn't even have Black people prefer Black men? Being open to something and preferring something is completely different. For example, if you guys, I prefer to go to SmartFit in Brazil. SmartFit, I prefer it because it's decent. It's a clean gym. Usually it's a lot of women there. That doesn't mean I want to go to BodyTech. If BodyTech is nice, then I'll go there. But when I get to Brazil, I'm looking for the SmartFit. That's the difference. If you guys want me to help you one-on-one, and you guys want somebody that's going to tell you the truth about what it's like to be abroad, it's still great. But if you guys want somebody to tell you the truth about dating abroad, investing abroad, how to create remote income to move abroad, anything about living abroad, or if you want me to help you build a YouTube channel, if you're a barber, you want somebody to help you start, I offer one-on-one coaching, and it will be a 12-month program. It is not cheap. So if you guys don't have...
And this is what it's about. Remember, I told you on the beginning, I was going to explain to you why he's doing this. This is why he's doing this. Because there isn't much a person needs coaching for, except certain skill set that takes a long time to learn. That's why it's called coaching. You need coaching to become a proper basketball player, football player, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These are things, you need music coach, you need track coaches. You need coaches for skill sets that take a long time to master. Getting a passport and tricking abroad does not require coaching. It doesn't require coaching for a guy who looks like Shrek to go to a country where the women are after him for his money. That doesn't require coaching. So he has to change his business strategy to something that takes 12 months to figure out. Apparently, even cutting hair, which is kind of off brand. Like, hey, pay me to be your barber coach is really off brand as a travel lover or whatever you classify yourself as. But I get it. You're a barber as well. But you're looking for a different stream of income. Yeah, because tricking doesn't need coaching. Neither does selling women. Tricking doesn't need coaching, but validation seeking does. Now, this goes back to the receipt thing. And I hate to say this, Austin, but you have not been validated either. You can't complain about how you haven't been validated in these countries and then coach somebody towards the validation. You just can't. Somebody says Austin claims he was a 100K barber. I don't doubt that. $40 a head, 2 heads an hour. I don't doubt that. People underestimate how much barbers and stuff like that make, especially if you own a shop. That's very possible. Now, when somebody says it's a barber, this is probably why this don't really drop a bitch's panties, because it could mean anything. Like it could mean that they are actual 100K barbers, or it could mean that they are $100 barbers, meaning that at the end of the day, they make $100 if they're lucky. Like there's the main barber and then there's the empty seat barber, where every time you go to your appointment barber, you look at his seat like, man, your stuff is empty. Unless somebody got a son that don't really care about that type of stuff, your seat is always empty.
If you guys are not financially stable, this is not for you. Okay. This will be a 12-month program that is either paid up front or split into monthly payments. Okay. The booking link is below. If you guys are interested, we'll get on a consultation call, see what you want, see what we can help you out with, and we'll continue from there. Leave a like if you like that video. Leave a dislike if you dislike the video. Subscribe if you have not already, even if you don't like it. Leave a comment on what you thought. Leave a comment on what you want to see next. And I'm Auston Holleman. I love you guys. My Cash App is $Auston Holleman. If you found that entertainment or informative, PayPal, AustonHolleman@gmail, and Zelle, AustonHolleman@gmail. I will see you guys next time.
Okay, so now, yeah, I don't know if he always did that disclaimer at the end, but he is pushing for some bread. He is pushing for some bread. I guess that's what, let's just call them full-timers. That's just what they do. But yeah, it is a thing. Okay, so 1MT is doing a smoke show on this. Passport Bros are selling dreams. Auston Holleman call-in show. I will be there. I will be calling in. And really, y'all could watch it. Maybe y'all should watch it. But I'm going to just say a lot of the stuff that I said here, just to a wider audience. He has a lot more people who watch his show, 1MT, than my show. So I'm going to express a lot of that. But before I go, as promised, I'm going to find that clip where where he was saying something about his mom, and where he admitted to having a thing for a woman like his mom. He was looking for a woman like his mom, and then later his mom expressed cachicity. Okay, he has another video he just did. Are Latinas really that racist? Jesus Christ. He's constantly like, do they like me? Do they really like me? She likes me. She likes me. Do they like me or are they racist? Like, listen, once they sense that in you, they're going to leverage that. Once they sense your need to be needed and your want to be wanted, they're not just going to give that up. When do women sense, when do women just openly give you your deepest, darkest desires? They always leverage it. That's just in their nature. All right, so let me see if I can find it. I seen it like a couple of days ago. Maybe it was a couple of days ago. All right, give me a second. Y'all hit that like button while I do this. And Section 8 is just a subsidy. What y'all talking about in the chat room? Curious. Okay. Aaron Clary, let's see. All right, my bad. I got to look through the history to find this, but because I didn't plan on doing this, or else I'd be prepared. But so it might take me a while. Y'all converse amongst yourselves and talk about, and make sure that like button is hit. If you're new here, subscribe. Because it's going to be some stuff, and I may not even find it. Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. Okay. Wait a minute. Yeah, here it is. Right when I said I might not find it. Okay. All right. So found it.
You know what? I want somebody to take care of me like my mama did.
Me?
Why not? Yes. Why would I not? Y'all like, oh, you want a second mom? Why not? My mama loved me.
So there you have it. And I didn't hear this before. But the woman said, me. Okay. Stating your vulnerabilities in front of a woman that you're courting, fucking, or whatever shows a poor understanding of how manipulative women are.
That's how she is when she drinks. Set the house on fire, you'll be in jail.
This dude, mama, is cursing some dude out. Saying, I don't need child support. So I'm assuming he has like younger brothers or sisters or something. I don't know. Yes, it does. Redo your math, brother. That's like 170K.
Yeah, so all you panders and simps, listen up.
Get your motherfucking dusty ass out of here. I'm not
No,
gonna play
damn
with
dusty.
you, and I don't care how you feel. It doesn't matter to me. This is my place, and you will not disrespect me. Period. Point blank.
So I'm calculating. Okay, y'all talking about what's 100K? I'm calculating 8-hour days. There's websites for this. I'm not gonna sit and do the math for you, but like on an 8-hour day, if you're full time and you make $80 an hour, tax free, mind you, because barbers don't really have to tell the IRS that they're making $80 an hour. Then you're making 100K or 170K tax free.
And you can do and think whatever you want, but get your ass out of here by the morning and take your beautiful cross with your ass. I will buy me a car.
Are you sure?
Yes, I will.
Because I will take the car.
Yes, take it with you. Take it with you. I hope
I'll-
that motherfucker break down on the
I'll
side.
ship it back to
Take
Paraguay.
it. Take it. Take it. Take it. You are a loser just like your fucking daddy.
Damn.
And that's how my dad beat her ass.
Did you say that's why his dad beat her ass?
No, I'm not deleting shit. I think there's a way you could do it to the app where you can just upload the yes.
Yeah. My friend from Tanzania wants to know, can we have
I'm
lunch?
on the live stream. Get back in the house. You don't have on a shirt. Get back in the
Well,
house.
okay.
Get back in the house because you don't have on a
I'm
shirt.
in the house.
Okay.
You hear
Yes,
this
sir.
shit?
Thank you, man. Thank you. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'll be up. Mm-hmm.
Why did you hang up on me?
He hung up the phone.
Fuck it, with that bullshit. Did y'all see that? Did y'all see her with no shirt on? Good. Shit pissed me off. I don't that bullshit. I don't play that bullshit.
I'm letting you know. You ain't running a motherfucking thing around here. You not running.
Okay, so he admits earlier that he wants a woman like his mom. And this is what his mom is like: yelling, drunk with no shirt on, yelling at his father, yelling at him. Just so once a black man needs validation, then black women pounce. So what do you think they mean when they say stuff like, you can't handle me? That's them trying to attack your desire for validation. You're not good enough. You can't handle me. It's like, it's not my job to handle. Most guys see through that, but few don't. And then you have this problem that Austin is going through right now. Yeah, this is not an individual problem. The plurality of men his age and older are used to this type of treatment. Now it becomes problematic when you go abroad and you haven't put yourself in an abundance mindset. You're so used to this type of treatment that you don't know how to embrace other treatments. That's when it becomes problematic. That is when you start seeing everything wrong with this treatment. Like, it's not genuine. It must be fake because she's not a real woman. Because real women cuss you out with no shirt on. So you start looking for faults in it.
My house.
You better believe I'm not. You better believe I'm not. I don't even live here.
Oh.
You're right.
So
You're right. I don't live here.
Right.
Okay, but here's my thing.
No, motherfucking finger at me, nigga. I gave
Mom,
birth to you.
Hey, when I'm on live, you don't come out here with no shirt on. I'm not doing that.
Number one, I'm peeping out the door.
We're exposed. I can see it, and I don't want people.
Oh crap. He said, I can see it. This man can see his mama's titties. I haven't seen my mama's titties since I was a baby. And I needed milk. What in the fuck? What in the entire fuck is going on here? I'm not saying my mama perfect, but those of you who rock with me know I was over there a couple of weeks ago. And no shit like this happened. I was streaming live there. No shit like this happened. Nor have you heard me claim that I want a woman like my mom. No, you don't have to be broke to want to save money on a hotel when you're in the States.
I don't give a fuck about what you think. This is my house. I pay the bills here.
Okay, that's fine.
I pay the bills here.
That's fine.
I pay the electric.
That's fine.
You don't give a fuck about what you think. This is my house. I pay the bills here.
Okay, that's fine.
I pay the bills
Okay,
here.
that's fine.
I pay the electric.
That's fine.
You don't pay a motherfucking thing here.
Hold on. You
So
don't need to.
you don't like how I roll and you don't like how I move.
I don't give a fuck how you roll. I will get the fuck out of here.
Then get the fuck out, nigga.
You get the fuck out of my face.
You get the fuck out. Who the fuck?
I'm talking to you. You get
bitch?
on. Shit. I ain't dealing with that shit.
You done.
Holy crap. I don't think I watched this whole thing before. You see, this reminds me of you ever have a friend or family member or even yourself that did some time, and I'm talking serious time. I'm talking anywhere between 5 years and double digits. I'm talking serious time. Y'all ever had like a friend and family member who did the time and they don't adjust to good food quick? Like they just can't appreciate a decent steak because ramen noodles was gourmet. The stuff they used to tell me they did with ramen noodles meant that they really took it serious. They took ramen noodles serious on the inside. See, that's that institutionalized stuff. He's Keisha-tutionalized.
Don't deal with it. Get your motherfucking bitch ass out of here by the morning. Get the fuck out. Me and Major don't have to deal with you.
Is that her pet?
See, now I have control of my own attitude, but I'm not gonna lie to you. If that would have been a girl, I probably would have punched that bitch.
Okay, so that's that. He's still seeking that Keisha validation. So is what it is. But holy crap, this is so annoying. Hold on, right quick. Let me. I have something I gotta do. Ah, shit. Oh. So I went to the next video. This is saying proud to be tricking in Pattaya. Listen, who gives a fuck? But I'll let this play while I adjust what I have to adjust on the other side. Hold on. So I haven't seen this. It automatically went to the next video, but let's see what he's talking about.
Always joking, talking about the library, man, but that was joking. You know what I'm saying? I was just talking, popping shit.
No, you giraffe face nigga. You lied for months portraying she was a regular working woman when in all actuality you're in Pattaya and 1000% of all the women are working girls, aka hoes, aka pay me money chicks.
And that offended a lot of people, but you know, yeah, man, she worked at the bar, you know, ever since I met her. You know what I'm saying? And out here, man, you know, they got something called a bar fine. You know, when you go to a bar out here, you can bar fine a girl. A bar fine is when, like,
a bar fine in Asia is when a lame see a chick he wants to have, he has to pay the bar to allow her to leave work early. So this means the trick pays twice. He pays the bar and then the lady. Trick abroad is looking sad out here explaining, but let's continue.
I actually didn't know that. I actually didn't know that because remember I told y'all the pregnant girl, I told y'all that she told me the price. I didn't know that had I taken her to the hotel, I would have to pay additional. I thought the $40 was that, and the club splits it with her. Yeah. So live and learn. So this is a case. I'm not going to play the whole thing because I'm about to wrap up. But this is a case where, damn, she do look good in the background. Where somebody is trick shaming, which is a uniquely black thing. If y'all, want to know the origins of it, then go back to like the first 10 minutes of this video. But this is trick shaming. Listen, nobody else trick shames. If a man wants to pay his $40 and buy some ass, who gives a fuck? Stop dick policing. He's happy. Apparently the $40 includes breakfast or whatever meal she's making today. He's doing what the fuck he wants to do. Mind your business. But let's see, because I actually want to see what she looks like.
You can go in there, have a drink with the girl. If you like the girl, you can pay the bar to take the girl with you. You know what I'm saying? Because a bar fine, you got to pay, like, you can do it for like 2 hours or all day. You know what I'm saying? It's 2 hours is like 600, and then 2,000 is for like the whole night. You can bar.
Okay, so she's chunkier than I thought, at least in the face. But still, everything else, the body, and it's just decent.
Bar fine, right? I don't be doing that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a bar fine motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
But nothing. You're lying. You're in the bar fine, most tricking city in Thailand, and you don't participate. Okay, well, me and Obama used to sell crack together in back of the White House. Ha ha ha. This camel head is just talking himself into a hole.
Check it out. So that's what this nigga did, man. If y'all saw.
Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Apparently, the maker of this video is, trick shaming dude. I guess, he says he don't pay a bar fine. I believe him. Like, just because you're in a tourist city where sex trade is, something that's offered to tourists, that doesn't mean that that's what you're doing. If he says he's not doing it, he's not doing it. I mean, unless his video have evidence of otherwise, then, he's not doing it. I don't Probably because I don't care. You know, like if he said that, you know, I pay a bar fine. This is a bar girl. You know, sitting in the background on her cell phone. You know, while I make money on you. I don't particularly care about shit like that, and that's because it's not about validation. Like, why in the fuck would he want this bitch to validate him? Exactly, passport villain. Like some passport bro villain. Some guys are worried about where a man puts his, you know, his dick and his money, and these men are disproportionately black men. I don't give a fuck. Everybody knows I'm that stove dude. I don't give a fuck. I realize how much of a fuck y'all gave from the pushback I got from that. Do what the fuck I want to do. Hating ass niggas. All right, I'm gonna give y'all 9 more minutes.
The video from the dumb yum lechum nigga, you know what I'm saying? He went up there and bar finder, you know, and and started doing his little camera tricks and shit, you know what I'm saying?
Old nigga, it's called trolling. Let me put it in words you might understand. He is making fun of you, you slow turd. He is just exposing how simple and easy it is to get a woman in Pattaya. All is for sale in Pattaya. But when you came to Pattaya, you made it seem like you're a player and it's paradise when it's not. Anyone promoting this about Pattaya.
Why is being a player such a compliment amongst black men? I do not get that. And it's probably because I come from a time where most every black man was a player. And it's fun because the women were playing with you. They don't want to play anymore. They're not playing with you. The only one who's still playing is you. The only ones still playing is you. It used to be a game to them. Now it's just, listen, modern women is suffering from holla fatigue. They're suffering from holla fatigue, meaning that they are oversaturated with dudes that are trying to get into Japan. Back in the 90s, that wasn't the case because the internet wasn't popping like that. If 3 dudes a day was to try to get at a chick, then she would just feel like, okay, you know, I'm worth something, I'm valuable because, you know, because there I was just a walking down the streets. You know, they would be happier when a dude whistled. They wouldn't film the shit and put it on YouTube. Those days are fucking over. And they have been for a long fucking time. Why? Because anytime a woman wants to feel validated, she needs to just go on her Insta scam, on her OnlyFans. She needs to just go on her Tinder, on her Bumble, you know, and watch her inbox fill up with people who are still playing 90s games. That shit is done. I mean, like that whole thing is done. If you are trying to play nowadays, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't cold approach or anything like that. But if you are trying to make this you're trying to live off of that, you know, you might as well be a fucking hunter gatherer, you know, like in modern times when everybody else is farming and fucking buying food, and you the nigga out with an axe and setting up traps for, you know, stray rabbits and shit. Like try doing that at Central Park in New York. Like that's you. Oh shit. I got a work computer and I got a home computer.
Pattaya is lying. If you're a young man, don't go to Pattaya thinking you will find a nice woman and one you can get for free. The only free thing you can get in Pattaya is an STD or HIV. Gamble with your dingaling if you want. Let's move on and listen to this thought catcher entertain us.
So that's what that is, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but Nan been working at the bar, guys, ever since I met her. You know what I'm saying? It's like she been working there ever since I met her. That's what they do, man. They go on dates, man. People bar find them and they take them, you know, every day. You know what I'm saying? But she don't live with me.
Her face looks slimmer here. The chick in the background, her face looks slimmer here. She is looking good with t-shirt and panties on. And I'm digging the braids. Or dreads or whatever the fuck that is.
You know what I'm saying? Like she live at the bar, man. She work at the bars. She, you know, they belong to the bar. You know what I'm saying? So I don't be with her every day, man. I don't bar find and I don't do the in-house.
It don't matter.
I don't do the in-house paying
You
for
don't
a girlfriend.
have to.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I came to Pattaya,
you don't have to explain shit to these niggas. You owe them no explanation. Why are you explaining yourself? I don't do the bar fine. Fuck it. I do. Have I done a bar fine to take a bitch home? No. And now I think about it, I should have. I should have did that shit. I'm gonna tell y'all what I do at the bar because I'm a fucked up human being. So I'm at the bar in Manila. I think it was Manila. And when I walk in, the mama-san explained to me how everything works, right? The mama-san is like an old hoe, like in her 40s or something, and it's her job to keep the young hoes in line. Except, I don't know if you can, and I don't know if anybody ever wanted to, like bar fine the mama-san, but that's her job. Her job is to keep the girls in line. So the way the whole economics work, because the pregnant broad told me how it works, is you get a guy from Australia or Europe primarily, and it's primarily a white dude, and he just leases out a hole in the wall place and turns it into a bar, and he hires a mama-san, and it's her job to find girls. Now, these girls could be, because she just goes to the province and finds some girls in the province and to make some money. So she comes back with 6 or 7 girls, and now he has a bar and he has some hoes, and and now he makes money, and he, of course, he deals with the girls directly for his own purposes, but really, as far as the day-to-day management and stuff, that goes to the mama-san. So the mama-san explained to me how it works, how everything works. And one of the things that she told me was that it costs 400 pesos to knock this tray of ping pong balls over. And what happens when you knock this tray of ping pong balls over is that the dancing girls will stop whatever it is they're doing, even the ones that are serving drinks and the ones who are drinking drinks. They'll stop whatever it is they're doing, and they just start scrambling for these balls. And it's an interesting spectacle to watch. 400 pesos at that time was about $8. And I would just be sitting at the bar watching these broads dance. Oh, and by the way, they don't dance. They just two-step there for all fucking day. So I'm watching them dance, and then like every now and again, to just spice things up, I'll randomly just flip the thing over and watch the bitches scramble for them. Now, it's about, I forget it, but I did the math before in my mind, and they get like 20 cents for every ball that they catch. So a chick will pick up a ball, 3 ping pong balls, and she gets 60 cents of the $8 that I spent on all the balls. And then they come up and say thank you. And I'm like, wow, that is the most interesting 60 cents I ever spent on some shit. I'm sitting there laughing in my mind. And then I also do shit like pay them to arm wrestle each other. I paid some hoes to race. I gave like 200 pesos to the winner of a race, and because they were prostitutes, these were street prostitutes, and I wanted to see them run in high heels because I'm a fucked up individual, and that type of shit amuses me. So I would do that, all kind of shit I was doing, and the money I spent tipping ping pong balls and shit like that, I should have just bar fined a bitch. But I was having so much fun. I was having so much fun in my shenanigans that I forgot to fuck these bitches. But that's okay. I do what the fuck I want to do. Damn what these niggas think.
Tyler, I said I'm not gonna do that, man. Like I'm not gonna be bar finding chicks every day.
Don't matter.
I'm not gonna be paying for you to be my live-in girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? But that's what goes on out here. That's what everybody does out here.
Exactly, Goofy. Everybody is tricking out there. Everybody includes yourself. This has to be one of the slowest passport bros in the game. If you can name another, put the name in the comment section. Go to a different part of Thailand, like a village for example, and get a girl. You won't be able to because they would despise your ass. The only solution.
So this video is obviously made by a validation nigga. Oh wait, that's you. Ain't you in the chat room? Oh no, this passport bro villain. I thought this. So this dude here is passport bro assassin. Okay.
Would be to pay a bar girl in Pattaya who comes from one of these villages and go there, but oops, you already did this. Let's see what else Camel Face will say.
I just can't do that, man. You know, I feel like I got too much game and I'm just...
Stop right there. This fool said he can't trick because he has too much game.
Okay.
Ha ha ha. You don't need game to trick.
Y'all need to get over that. And I'm talking to not this passport bro assassin. I'm talking to I think this is Game Abroad. I'm talking to Game Abroad. Game don't mean shit to anybody else but black men. It don't mean shit to anybody else but black men. You have nothing to prove. You know, them white boys, them Asian boys, they be all up in the bars. Not giving a fuck about how much game they got. They ain't got shit to prove. And these niggas be looking like shit. They like, cause I didn't coin this phrase, but I thought it was accurate. It was another brother I met while in the Philippines, called them pickles. And pickles are these bizarre shaped white dudes with a bunch of random warts on their person. Like on their face and neck and shit. And I was like, damn, it is in a abnormal amount of Homer Simpson shaped dudes that with warts and shit that's just walking around. Like it was full of them. And I'm like, these dudes don't give a fuck about validation. They don't give a fuck about what I think. They don't give a fuck what bras think. Nothing. We the only ones. We the only ones who try to get a six pack just to fuck on foreign hoes. I don't give. I haven't had a six pack since the president was black. I don't give a shit. You know, since my 40s, that shit is damn near impossible. Fuck that. Fuck getting a six pack. Fuck these broads who don't admire my above average physique anyway. Fuck you all. And somebody mentioned the strip clubs. Niggas is so twisted that they are paying to not trick. I'm going to repeat that. Niggas is so twisted that they are paying to not trick. What do you think making it rain is? What do you think gold teeth is? Like, you're basically trying to sell her on your money without directly paying it to her. As long as you're not directly paying it to her, it's okay. It doesn't matter.
You don't need game if you're paying for a service. You don't need game in Pattaya. Please put a comment in the comment section if you've been to Pattaya and you really need game for half English speaking bar girls who speak fluent money talk.
What they do, and get you a little rotation, man, you know, and stay campaigning, man. You know, get out there and campaign, man. I like campaigning, man. I really don't even go to clubs and shit like that, man. You know, a lot of these dudes, you know, like when I first got here, I went to the club like 808. You know, every now and then I might.
You don't go to clubs, then every now and then you go. Doesn't matter trick abroad because 808 and the rest of the clubs in Pattaya is just a dance venue with working girls. I already said Pattaya is the tricking capital of Thailand. All women are hoes there. Respectable Thai women avoid this city because of its reputation.
Game is a Black American myth. Most can't even explain what it is. Yeah, I would say there's charisma, salesmanship, things like that.
Massage parlors and bars have 1000% hoes. This egghead nigga said get a rotation and campaign in Pattaya. Ha ha ha. You do this and guaranteed to waste money because they all working women. Stop with the campaigning and game talk.
You gotta trick, like you gotta, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that so much in Brazil. I know there was chicks out there doing their thing, but.
Of course you knew chicks out in Brazil was doing their thing. You was in Copacabana, egghead. This is the known area where tricks go like yourself.
I've been to Copacabana. Okay, put it like this. There's going to be prostitutes everywhere that there's tourists, even in the U.S. I told a story about how I hit on a chick in Nevada who turned out to be a prostitute. I didn't notice when I went up to her, but not only that, she was very expensive. And she wasn't from Nevada. She was actually from Florida. And yeah, she was an actual hoe. And she was in town because apparently they were golfing out there. So hoes go where the money flows. So you get a bunch of golf niggas, and these hoes, you know, they fly in to Florida, I guess, to make some money off of golfers. Yeah, I mean, I mean, so yeah, if there's a city in the country that they live in, where tourists go and tourists make like 28 times, you know, actually, you know, in Pattaya, it's more like, you know, shit. Okay, so they make like $2 a day. The average American makes like $25 an hour. So, you know, they make $400 a day. Is my math right? No, it's not right. They make like $200 a day. Average American makes like $200 a day. So they literally make 100 times what they make. Of course they're going to do that. Of course they're going to be there.
The women in your Brazil videos are working women of Copacabana, but you made it seem like you're a campaigning superhero who can just pull any woman when actually you're in Copacabana where most of the working girls speak English and are known for selling box. Most men know the chicks you had in videos there. The only difference is you put them on video trying to make the possible seem impossible because you're such a unique player from Texas. You make Texas, Black people, the US and passport bros look bad. I even have Africans in
No, you don't. It's not a bad look to buy some ass. Do I make California dudes look good by watching bitches, you know, race? Or watching bitches do pull-ups? Or making a Filipino hoe do whatever strange shit that comes to my mind at the time? Do I make Californian dudes look bad? Fuck that. I don't give a shit. That is what money gets you. Next time I go back, I'm gonna put this on video. And I'm gonna pay some midgets to ride on the back of a dog and race each other. Cause I can do that shit. If I want to pay some monkeys to knife fight, I do what the fuck I want to do. So focused on validation.
Africa sending me messages about you. They are saying African American men are pitiful. They also said they are happy niggas like you claim America and not Africa. Non-passport bros, men who travel. And non-paying for box men, we all need to come together and rebuke you and others like you. Watching you mushmouth explain things make my eyes hurt. But let's continue.
Doing what I'm doing. See, I'm the one that actually make a bag off of her every month. I make the money. Y'all understand that? I'm the only one, no matter what she did at the bar out here.
Here we go with the player pimp talk. You're explaining because of exposure. The Tom Yum guy just showed you, me and others, all women in Pattaya can be bought. You feel stupid because you lied saying she was a librarian. You goofy. To lie on something so small tells a lot.
It doesn't matter. See, that's the problem. He don't look bad because apparently maybe he was caught tricking or something. He don't look bad for that. He looks bad because he's trying to avoid the stigma that goes along with tricking. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. If you want to buy a bitch a stove, buy a bitch a stove. I don't give a fuck. All right, somebody says, if a woman is not attracted to you, how can you game change her mind? I don't care. Like, I just care about the results. I just care about the results. You know, in many cases, you can't. And that's okay too. If a man doesn't have looks, money, status, you'll be lost in the sauce or a consolation prize. I don't care. You think my dick is any less hard if a chick is sucking it on a consolation prize? I don't give a fuck. I could definitively say nearly every bitch I ever fucked would have rather been fucking a handsomer, richer, or guy with more status dude. Either that or they wish I had more of those things. I don't give a fuck. You think Elon Musk's wife wished that he, looked better? You think Jeremy Meeks, whoever he's fucking now, you think that she don't wish that he had more money? I don't give a shit. Like, get over that. I don't care. Say something stupid. Say something stupid again. See you don't get kicked out. Pretty pussy is terrible. That's something that niggas like you say to excuse fucking ugly ass bitches. Pretty pussy is the same as ugly bitch pussy. It's just that it's attached to a prettier woman with better standards. Say something stupid again.
What about you? Someone who cannot be trusted.
I knew what goes on in Pattaya, Thailand before. This is my first time here.
You stuttering fool. After tricking in Brazil and leaving because it was too expensive plus dangerous, you found the next.
Oh, my bad. He said pity pussy. Pity pussy. I don't know. Like, I mean, never really had a woman fuck me out of pity that I could think of. I don't really care. Women typically, at least as far as I know, they don't fuck a dude just based on pity. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, have I ever gotten pity pussy? The answer to that is no. I'm thinking of, like, I'm scrolling through pussy. I don't think that I have. I do remember one instance where I requested pity pussy and she still said no. So after giving this bitch some trash dick, shit was terrible. I knew when I was fucking her that my dick was trash inside of her. I knew it. Didn't give a fuck until I wanted some more pussy. So I told the bitch that it was my birthday and I'm not fucking anybody else. I know my shit was garbage, but take some more garbage dick for my birthday. Give me some pity. Give me some pity pussy. Bitch laughed and said no. I don't think they give out pity pussy like that. I don't. You find yourself in a situation where, you know, you got 3 friends, 3 male friends, and it's 4 chicks. And then 3 people are fucking, or, you know, like 3 dudes are fucking. And then, you know, it's 1 chick who refused to fuck somebody. She's not going to fuck you out of pity. You can't say, like, everybody else is getting some pussy. Come on, give me some. Nope. Nope. I do not know of bitches that do that. If you do, good. Enjoy your pity pussy. It's better than no pussy. Talk about, you know, it's terrible. Shit. Fuck it. It's better than no pussy, I'm sure. Somebody said how they catch the ping pong balls. Listen, I know those shows exist, but no, they catch it with their hands. It's regular. It wasn't nothing like that deep.
Next tricking destination. Where to next? The Philippines or Colombia? These 2 places will allow you to live cheap off your little monthly military money.
I know what go on before I even got here. Before I got here, I knew about the bar fines and the you know, and the wives and shit and living, you know what I'm saying, living girlfriends. But I don't care if she a bar girl. So a lot of people was like, oh, that's a bar girl. Why you handcuffing a bar girl? Bar girl. Nigga, I don't care if she a motherfucking bar girl, nigga.
You don't care now because again Tom Yum exposed your bald ass. Tom Yum, if you're watching, expose more of this idiot. We can all see you're trolling and getting a reaction out of a trick. If he was a player, he would change his channel name, delete the Brazil and Thailand videos, and start off again in Brazil, informing people Copacabana is where box is bought, and be more truthful versus trying to perceive you have game. Because now your game is over.
I put a wig on a pig and give her a gig. You know what I'm talking about, man? Yeah, man, real ism, man. I put a wig on a pig and get a bitch a gig.
All right. Okay. Oh, holy shit. Holy shit. I think this is Game Abroad. I'm not sure, but I think that this is Game Abroad. This is not your best video. This is not the best look. This is not a good look. You shouldn't be explaining yourself to these niggas, for one. But for 2, you shouldn't be talking like a 70s pimp. I give a pig a wig and get a bitch a gig. What the fuck? What the entire fuck? If I had to guess, you were born in the 70s or the 80s. So you shouldn't be talking like that. And I'm not saying that everybody should just adjust their vocabulary to, you know, what 20-year-olds are saying now if you're in your 50s or some shit like that. I'm not saying that at all. But you don't have to talk like the way people spoke before you was born.
Man, she always been doing that, nigga. Sometimes she'll call me while she on a date, nigga. I done FaceTimed her. She done FaceTimed me while she was on a date with a trick, nigga, playing games, nigga. You know, we laughing about it, man. Come on, I be reading all you trick niggas messages sometimes, man. Like that's the kind of relationship we got, man. Niggas out here in Pattaya, I know she done fuck. Sometimes we be together, nigga. She'll point out her customer. Oh, that's one of my customers. You know, nigga, I know.
Ew. You know all this and continue to be with her and women like.
Okay. Like me, he don't mind fucking a prostitute. Especially if he's not paying. I get that, you know, like you meet a girl, you're interested in her, and you know, you ask her, what does she do? She says, I'm a call girl. I'm a dancer, but from time to time, and I'm talking about here in the States, I'm a dancer, but time to time I turn tricks. In addition to sucking dick for money, it would be nice to have a boyfriend. Now, I know that the relationship isn't going to go far, but I do understand that, you know, separate from her need for money is a need for companionship. I get that. So I'm not knocking him for that aspect of what he was saying. What I will knock him for is the shaming of her clientele. Like, I don't need to do all that shit. Like, I'm not gonna be like, you know, look at these trick ass niggas. Like, nah, what the fuck? Come on now. I really don't give a shit.
Her in Pattaya proudly like you're some star out there doing the impossible. This is what bothers me. Players don't do this. And men with real game don't do this abroad. They go to unknown parts of the city or to a whole different city where people do not visit and show game. Any videos from this point on from you will not be believable. Especially if a woman is displayed in it.
Yeah, golden tiger, nigga, I know who she done smashed. It's niggas in this condo I know she done fucked with, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck out of here, man. Nigga, I'm a player, nigga. That shit don't mean nothing to me. Y'all keep talking about this kissing shit, man. Yeah, I done kissed them plenty of times, man.
Okay. Player pimps max don't actually, because I know the real deal. I know the real guys. They don't have to call themselves that. If somebody's calling themselves player pimp mac, chances are they're not a player pimp mac. So this isn't game abroad. This is another ballhead dude because he's player club travel guide.
But I didn't want to kiss on YouTube like that. YouTube be tripping on that shit.
Player. Why kiss after knowing for the day she's gobbled down Tom Yum, Indian men, Australian men and the rest of the passport gang? This nigga is a walking STD time bomb. He probably ate the box to get back at Tom Yum to prove he's better.
And I already know niggas gonna be in the comments. Oh, you kissed her and she came back from Tom. Oh my God, how can you do this? And all that old goof ass shit. You know, like I already know what you niggas finna say. But yeah, I done kissed Nan plenty of times, nigga. Shit. And what, nigga? Fuck you.
I cannot watch more of this. He is looking really bad out here. If I was him, I would come back to the US and rent a room like he was doing before and just watch YouTube, not abroad. 2024 is the year we expose, shame and rebuke all passport bros and affiliates. Let's all come together like the West and send these fools back to the country they came from. Even if we have to build a YouTube wall to keep them boxed in, then oh well, we will have to do this.
Okay, so apparently passport bro hating is, I'm not even gonna say it's at a high, because it's not oh shit, that is Game Abroad. But I'm not saying that it's at a high. But I am saying that Austin is now in on it. So y'all gonna have to prepare some type of defense. And y'all are, like Skylar is clapping back at Austin like right now. So, y'all definitely are. He has 524 people watching. So I'm gonna head over there. So yeah, this is GameChanger 00100. Game over. Peace.